You know, it's funny, as a guy who sits here and he watches hockey, I formulate my own opinions about players and teams and situations, and normally, when we have trades that go down that involve some pretty notable names, everybody can kind of see the value either way, whether you're a fan of one team or another. For Domi and Anderson, we already made a video talking about that trade a few months down the line, because at that point, it seemed like Josh Anderson and the value he provided to the Montreal Canadiens at the time of that video's publication was a lot more than what Max Domi provided to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Well, we're a little bit past that even further, and I wanted to expand even more on Max Domi, the former Montreal Canadien, the former Arizona Coyote, Phoenix Coyotes draft pick, and current Columbus Blue Jackets forward, who went from a position where in the playoffs against Pittsburgh and Philly he was playing on the fourth line because as a center he didn't want to move over to the wing and he didn't overtake Danault, Kotkaniemi, or Suzuki in the eyes of Claude Julien. He went from that fourth line performance with the Habs in the playoffs to the fourth line of the Columbus Blue Jackets on the left wing nonetheless, and he has been one of the worst Columbus Blue Jackets forwards, statistically speaking, this year. What is up, viewer? The Watchers Relax back here, and Max Domi has been really, really rough for the Blue Jackets. In fact, the statistics honestly could align with the term terrible, but I don't want to be super hyperbolic in the title and the thumbnail, so we'll just go with rough for now. But Max Domi has been in a spot where, after being touted as a trade piece in a trade that the Blue Jackets won so heavily back in October, it's now kind of flipped the other way. And don't worry, I don't want to make this video entirely just about the trade itself, because Domi last year had 44 points, Anderson last year had 1 goal, so a lot of people are like, oh, why are the Blue Jackets able to acquire Domi and a draft pick for Anderson? That's crazy highway robbery going on here by Jarmo Kekalainen. It's going to work out very well in their favor, because Domi, at his best, is a 70-point guy. Well, this season he's at 7 points in 26 games, 33 penalty minutes, he's playing on the fourth line as the left wing there, centered by Alexandre Texier and Kevin Stenlund, and Domi is a -12. Now, plus-minus doesn't mean everything, but let's just go over that a little bit later. This is a tweet I saw yesterday from NHL Watcher, 2 days ago actually. Max Domi has been held pointless in 8 straight games, playing about 14 minutes a game. Well, yesterday, he played only 6:48. He took a 10-minute misconduct to end his night, and he is currently playing the role of a fourth-line winger. And so, needless to say, things have been kinda rough for Max Domi, especially considering Josh Anderson, the guy in Montreal who is out here scoring goals like it's nobody's business, 10 goals, 20 games played, and 13 points on the year in total. Yeah, I don't want to imply anything about this trade or whatever, but, you know, it looks a lot like a Montreal win at the moment. But, going back over to Max Domi, he's a guy who, with a -12, is one of the worst players in the league for plus-minus. Now, plus-minus isn't everything, I get that. There are certainly so many other factors to teams and plus-minuses that, you know, just having the stat there in its purest raw formation isn't enough to conclude an entire story. But if you go over to the NHL, you take a look at the forwards, Domi is 7th last in the league in plus-minus. And if you take a look at the guys who are underneath him, or I guess above him in the negative sense, because you get a higher absolute value in the negative sphere when you're taking a look at plus-minus ratings that are worse. Anthony Mantha, -16, Eric Stahl, Tim Stützle, Taylor Hall. What do these guys have in common? They're playing for Detroit, Buffalo, and Ottawa. Nazem Kadri is over here with a -13, but he's playing for Colorado, so that is the most interesting name on this list by far. But Max Domi is immediately after, tied with Jakob Silfverberg on the Ducks, Reinhart on the Sabres, Henrique on the Ducks, and, you know, he's doing much poorer than Matt Duchene, Kalteris, Lucic. It's not looking great. In fact, this was a Reddit post I saw the other day as well, talking about how Max Domi turned 26 years old 6 days ago. It was a happy birthday post, but it had a little bit of information sprinkled in here that I wanted to also bring up on the channel. Once this post was uploaded, Domi was the 4th worst center in the NHL at a -11. Only guys that were worse than him are Henrique, Duchene, and Kadri. But if you take a look at the Corsi and you average out how exactly these rates go for the guys who are down there at the bottom of the chart, Nazem Kadri, even though he had a minus 13, his Corsi for was positive, 55.2%, and an offensive zone start percentage of 53.2. Matt Duchene, 55% as well Corsi, and a 70% offensive zone start percentage for him. Henrique, 51% Corsi, he's positive, 57.4 offensive zone start percentage. And for Domi at the time, he was at a 43.8 Corsi for percentage. And, you know, his offensive zone start percentage was about the same, 55.5. If you take a look at where things are right now, Max Domi has improved his Corsi for up to 45%, 0.9 actually, so he's almost at 46. But amongst the team, he is literally the second worst player tracked this year on Evolving Hockey in goals for per 60, which means for every 60 minutes they're out there, this is how many goals the team is scoring. Domi is literally second last just to Pierre-Luc Dubois, who doesn't even really count anymore because he only played 5 games, and there was the whole benching and work ethic situation. We go over to goals against per 60, how many goals the opposing teams are scoring when he's out there. He's about the same as Patrick Laine, Texier territory, so it's not really that big of a deal. It's just the offensive production. You take a look at where these points are coming from when Max Domi is out there. The Columbus Blue Jackets are comparatively to other Blue Jackets players giving up more shot attempts, shooting less, and they're scoring less. However, I will do the devil's advocate to this because Max Domi's expected goals for numbers about the same as Patrick Laine. In fact, it's a little bit better. The expected goals against, it's also about the middle of the pack, around the same as Nick Foligno, so that's okay. But it's the shooting percentage that I wanted to take a look at here because the Columbus Blue Jackets have a low shooting percentage when Max Domi is out there on the ice, 4.82%. And that's not great. The team really isn't scoring any goals when Domi is out there. And again, it's second only to Pierre-Luc Dubois. So maybe there's a reason why Domi is being played over there in the fourth line. But as many Blue Jackets fans that I've seen on social media have been talking about, maybe it's just a situation where you have to ride it out, you know. This is a brand new guy in a brand new organization, so when you're playing under a coach like John Tortorella that demands so much under your team, and with the uncertainty with Tortorella going into the next few seasons in general too, you still have to remember you have another year of Max Domi because you signed him to that contract that was only for 2 seasons, a $5.3 million AAV, but the way things are going right now, it's really not looking good for Max Domi in terms of maybe setting himself up financially for what would be another contract signing in 2022. It's all up in the air, right? We don't really know with these things, but the bottom line here is Max Domi has not looked great for the Blue Jackets this season. The statistics are terrible. The production, hey, he's been going out there 14 minutes a night-ish, not getting any points. He's been kind of snake-bitten, so yeah. Is rough a good word to use? I'll say rough. With the way things are going right now, I think Habs fans are kind of watching this video and laughing, but you know what? It is what it is. Talk to me in the comments what you thought about this video over here. What do you think about Max Domi and the Blue Jackets and the way he's being deployed and the way he's being used and how he is producing as well? Talk to me in the comments what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.